What's happening, everybody? Josh here from Spawn Fly Fish, and we're back with another tying tutorial. Today we're tying some balance bugs with some Spawn Simi, and this is a good one. Alright, in the vise we have an Ahrex FW551 size number 8. And this is a balanced fly, so the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to take one of these little balanced fly pins that we have on our site. They come in a long sort of nail. I have wire cutters here on the side, and I trimmed that about the length of the hook. So we're going to be extending more, so it won't reach the whole length, but just to where you cut it so you know what we're doing here. So this part is pretty important, and it's dependent on the type of fly you're going to tie, where you're going to put that sort of balance or pivotal point. For this fly in particular, we're going to have a body on the back end that's going to lift that back end. So what we want to do here is we want this bead. This is a 3.8 millimeter tungsten plummeting bead from Hareline. We want it to go just past the eye, and that is through some trial and error. So we'll just get a few wraps there, and then we can slide this to fit while I try and show you guys so you can see it. There we go. So if you see the eye of the hook coming straight down should be the end of the bead. And that is going to keel this fly perfectly and keep it right how we want it. Alright, we're going to trim off that tag end. Hopefully my fingers weren't in the way too much for that explanation. But we're going to also just throw some wraps behind this bead. I don't want it moving around all the time while I'm tying. It's not going to hurt anything, but I like it to be secure. Alright, there we go. Alright, next element of this balanced fly is we have a tube Bodiz from Rainey's. This is their Hex Mayfly. So this thing is really big. So if you see these, they are hollow. And what that's going to do when we insert it onto the hook and tie it in, it's going to work as an air pocket. So it's going to bring that tail up. So that's why we have this extended the way we do, exactly where it is, so that this all equals up. So we're going to have the length of the hook here, and we're going to trim off that excess. So give us a little nice little tail like so. All right, how we're going to insert this, we're going to, I'll see if I can do it on camera here. We're going to put it in, and it'll slide through. We'll have to do this off vise or off camera. So like so, it's coming around, and voila. That will get it back in the vise. And now we're going to come in here and tie that down. Like I said, this is going to trap air in there. So we want to be mindful of where we cut it. And if you cut it at different points, it is going to alter how that balance works. Alrighty here. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to take some mono eyes, and we're just going to throw them on top here, and make sure that's evenly distributed. Right on top, there we go. Sweet. All right, so the platform is kind of built for this pattern. You can already see it starting to come to life. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to take some wire, and this is in brown, and we are going to tie that in. Very simple little balance pattern here. Very, very cool, very buggy. And if you're fishing Stillwater this season, this is going to be a great option for you. Next thing we're going to do Sunday tying session, can't do it without some spawn. We got some spawn Simi seal and sand dab. This is our regular Simi, so you could use mega, but it would be a little more difficult if you have it at home. I would recommend kind of cutting that into a little bit smaller. So what we're going to do here is we're dubbing our thread, and we are going to work our way back. So we want this pretty thin, so don't go crazy here. We want this thinner profile on this bug. So we're making sure we get a nice thin dubbing noodle here. We're working our way back, and then we'll work our way forward. Yahtzee. Alright, so I'm going to leave it just like that. We're going to come in with a little more dubbing in a second, but I'm on a bit of a bronze mallard kick for all the right reasons, and we are going to sneak in some legs. I really like the barring on this. There might be some people at home that cringe that I'm using such a nice feather for this aspect of tying, but to each their own, and we got a lot of them. Alright, so we want to separate those fibers. Looks like we got 4 there. Going for the 3 is the magic number today. So we got those. I'm going to go just off the side. So extend a little more than I wanted to, so I'm going to pull that forward just a bit before really locking it into place. Okay. Now I'm going to go in on the opposite side. You won't be able to see this as well, but everything is identical to what I did on that side of yours. Alright, we're locking it in, situate it to the side, shorten that up a bit. Got one of these legs is trying to go rogue, but that's okay. Just bring it down with an extra wrap. Perfect. Alrighty, what we're going to do is we're going to wrap the wire here. And this is just going to give a little more security to the dub, but also give it that body segmentation. We're going to go right behind that. It's going to continue to push those legs back. We're just going to come in front of the eye and lock that off. Alrighty, we are almost done with this pattern here. The only thing we got to do is just clean it up with a little more spawn Simi. So, back to the sand dab. We are going to dub that thread. We're going to come in right behind the bead. We're going to go just to behind the eyes, just kind of clean everything up, fill it up. Make sure that bead's not going anywhere, which it's not. Need just a teeny bit more here. Again, be mindful of the amount of Simi you're going to use on this. One more. I'll just finish it out. Alrighty. Now we are going to whip finish. Right behind this bead. Throw in 2 for good measure. And then we will come in with some head cement off camera. But that is it. This is going to be balanced very, very well. I'll put it here so you can see it. Remember to cut this tail, because if you don't, you will have to adjust where this bead goes. So a lot of trial and error when using this pattern, and it's doing a fantastic job. So that really does it. One other tip when you are using this balance, this product here likes to grab some water. So if you're going to fish this under an indicator, just give it a little rub in the water with your hands so that it sinks and doesn't trap some of those air bubbles. Hope you guys like this. If you did, hit like, hit subscribe, and we will see you guys next time.